There's a revolution happening in how America moves freight, and we're not talking about EVs or hybrids. Today, we're learning about a top fintech modern payments platform for truckers that incorporates invoicing, financing, and payments. And Bain Capital says it's one of the top 50 emerging SaaS companies in America. Today, we meet Outgo. I'm David Hemingway, and this is The Angel Nest, where real angel investors and entrepreneurs partner to build great companies. Welcome back to another of our series of podcasts with Johnnie Walker of Rooled, Outsourced CFO and Accounting Services, about how founders are getting funded in this new environment. Rooled are the startup finance experts. Great to see you, Johnnie Walker from Rooled, and thanks for joining us again today.
Thank you very much indeed again, David.
And thank you for introducing us to today's guests. We're very happy to be joined by Marcus Womack, the founder and CEO of Outgo. Outgo serves the freight industry with comprehensive financial solutions. Welcome, Marcus, and thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, David. Great to be here.
So tell us about the inspiration that created Outgo.
Yeah, well, so my co-founders and I, Mike and Ray, we've been working together for over 15 years, and this is our third startup together. And the last few years, we've both been working in transportation. I was at Uber, and they were at a company called Convoy. And we saw just how carriers in the freight marketplace, over-the-road carriers, those are the large 18-wheelers you see on the road. It's a really big marketplace. It's about $400 billion a year of goods and services that are trucked across the country. Those carriers care about two things: finding work and getting paid. And a lot of innovation over the last 10 years has been around helping them find work, but not a lot of focus on helping them get paid. And we saw their back office workflow and saw the opportunity that software could change not only how they did their work, but the ability to access working capital. And that was really the genesis of Outgo. We saw traditional finance companies that were using off-the-shelf software, and they were charging really high fees. And we saw the opportunity to bring all of that together in an end-to-end software platform that was directly connected to a bank account. And that's really how Outgo was created.
So I was surprised to learn that 95% of freight companies operate 10 or fewer vehicles. It's still a very fragmented market, right? Does that contribute to the need for Outgo?
That's right. So there's about 1.2 million carriers. 95% of those carriers operate 10 or fewer trucks. And most of them are just one. And so when we saw the opportunity, we saw they were really overlooked and underserved. These are small businesses that really need working capital and also need leverage to run their back office financial tools. And so we saw the opportunity to bring together not only the access to working capital, but software to help them drive their business. And I just describe what we build as like, if you're a small business, you need someone to run your AR department. We've created a software platform that allows you to hire our software to run your AR department.
So Johnnie Walker from Rooled, Marcus is one of your clients. It sounds like they have some complex financial requirements. How did you two begin working together?
Well, I think definitely on the Outgo's complexity side, it's a fintech business. There's a lot there, and we've got particular expertise in dealing with that kind of client and the kind of complexity on the accounting side. But I think if I'm right, Marcus, that we were originally introduced by one of your investors who'd been part of that process of trying to identify support for you. And I think, that's a way that we love to meet prospective clients because there's a strong interest in the investor side that things are reported and handled correctly, and that just sets up the engagement for success as far as we're concerned.
Yeah, that's right. I would echo that. Yeah, we got connected by an investor because of the complexity of the platform and product that we would build. Just required a lot more attention to detail of all the volume of receivables we were running.
Now, how do you help your clients get paid? That was the part that I found fascinating about your description.
Yeah, so you think of you're a small trucking company, and small trucking companies do somewhere around 10 different loads a month. So that's 10 different invoices. So over the course of the month, you need to submit those invoices to get paid. And you can be out on the road and not at your desk, and there's a bunch of paperwork that needs to be processed. And so we've built a software platform that turns the paperwork that you get in the course of running a load, a Raycon and BOL, into an invoice pretty quickly, within 4 hours in most cases. And we send those out for payment because the payment clock doesn't start until the broker receives the paperwork. And so our platform helps them do that instantly while they're on the road or even if they're in their back office working. But as soon as you do that and you're working with a broker that's one of the approved brokers in our platform, we will allow you to access cash on a fractionalized basis from that invoice. So, and what we've built is this receivables automation platform that runs your invoices, but it's directly connected to a bank account. And so as you spend through day-to-day course of business, if you're paying for your operating expenses, right behind your bank account sits an overdraft line that is your invoices, that as you spend, we fractionalize those future invoices. It's kind of like a line of credit, but it's not credit. It's secured by the work you've already done. And we've approved those invoices, validated that you've done the work. And then as you spend money out of your bank account, we fractionalize those invoices. And that's the complexity that required us working with a more sophisticated accounting firm like Rooled.
Tell us about that. How did that come about?
Yeah, so we have a ledger that we use that sits right behind the bank account, and that ledger manages on an individual customer basis all their invoices. But we have scores of customers, and we run thousands of invoices for millions of dollars on a monthly basis, and all of those have to tick and tie out at the end of the month, end of the quarter. And so it's not just running our accounting software, so our QuickBooks or NetSuite. It's about tying all of that together with our receivables platform that runs. But then also we run an SPV, a special purpose vehicle. And so that's a separate entity that we got to consolidate up on a monthly and quarterly basis. And those are the kind of complexities that Rooled has helped us solve as we've scaled our business.
It sounds like you're essentially the entire back office operation for individual truckers.
Yeah, so I think the way we think about it is that we're a component of that, but we're where all the money comes in, the bank account where all the money comes in. And then we complement some of the other services that you might use. So you can connect up, because it's a full bank account, you can connect up your payroll directly to it. You can connect up another fuel card directly to it. So we are kind of the neural center of the network of the back office, but we don't necessarily have all the services that you might need from a back office standpoint.
How do you think of in scalability and Outgo itself and targeting that marketplace? If it's so fragmented and you've got a lot of single unit or single truckers, how are you envisaging that as Outgo scales and accessing that customer base?
Yeah, so go-to-market is one of our core focuses, and truckers are in various places, and so we have various channels of acquisition that we've built, funnels that we go and market, and we also have a great referral program. And so the key thing about our customers is they still answer the phone. They're they're all in their truck all day, and they use their phone regularly, and they talk on the phone. And so we have a great sales teams that reach out and communicates with them. The second thing is that they are refer to other truckers too. And so they're small businesses. They operate though like consumers. They have very trusted networks. And one of our goals from day one has been to build not only great product, but also great service. And so making sure that we build a customer experience team that's there and available when our businesses need them. And so I think it's, building trust with your customers. That makes the customers you work with want to refer you to other customers. We've seen real value in that.
Marcus, how difficult was it to build a platform that accomplishes so many different tasks?
I think it's just sort of one block at a time. I think you start with a problem set, and we did a lot of interviews with carriers about what they needed and what they were looking at to run their business. And one of the things they said is they need working capital at more cost-effective rates. And we then sort of looked at that problem set and saw Fintech hadn't really reached the shores of freight yet. And we started the business about just over 3 years ago. And we then started to build pieces of that as you go. And I think, any small company, it's a crawl, walk, run. You kind of recognize what you need to build to scale to the next level. And I think that's part of the life cycle of building a small business is like you can prioritize really well. We got a long list of things to do, but you need to put it in an order that's the best for you managing the business and most importantly, what's the customer needs.
So speaking to your investors, would you describe yourself more as a software company or as a finance company from a potential standpoint?
Well, David, we're a fintech, so we
yes,
get to be both. We get to be both, and that's part of the fun. And I think for us, cash flow is so important to our customers, but we also want to delight them with great software, and that kind of brings the two worlds together. And to be super honest, like operating a fintech is new to certainly people on my team, and which is why we worked with Rooled, who has great experience working with fintechs in this space. And so, it was really important for us to get that experience when we were, closing out our monthly books and quarterly books. It was just so critical for us to put that together, because we have to report out to our investors and certainly other, creditors in the ecosystem to make sure that we're, following all the financial and accounting rules.
Yeah, and I know that Sana and Alex from the team have thoroughly enjoyed working with you guys. But to your point, there's a lot there. You've got subsidiaries, you've got reporting requirements, you've got covenants, you've got governance. There's a lot there that has to get taken care of, and so it's a complex situation. So in these sort of environments, we do thrive, which is great.
As an investor, this sounds really unique to me. There are a lot of folks selling software, and software obviously is very important and commands a lot of our monthly subscription dollars. But you also have the ability, with your financing arm, right, to open up another channel for potential profit. And from a business standpoint, that just seems to be really, fairly unique.
Yeah, we try to, look at the space of receivable finance and receivables automation as like one sort of core space. And our service today is like all encompassing. So we don't charge a SaaS fee. We charge on a transactional basis. So, all the invoices that you send through, we have a very flexible platform, and we wanted to put control into the hands of our customers. And it's quite a bit different than the most traditional factoring platforms, in that most traditional companies, factoring companies say, here, send us an invoice. We'll send you back, cash to your bank account, and then you spend as you go. And what you factored is not really connected to what you spent. And so we brought those two together. So what you spend is closely tied to what you factor. And so I describe what we build as like factoring is really more of a feature on a bank account versus an entire service or product you use.
And not having a cost for the software, I think, would be a huge marketing advantage.
Yeah, it's also the standard in the industry, because you think like most traditional factoring companies, they provide an all-inclusive service. They do receivables, and they also do cash flow, but they just make you take a lot of that cash flow up front. And so we've built a software machine that does that end-to-end automation, because it's complex, right? You have to take the documents and turn them into a data stream, and then you have to turn them into an invoice and send that invoice, collect on that invoice, and reconcile it back into the bank account to make sure you're actually getting paid properly for what you invoiced. And we've built all the technology to do that, which kind of puts the power back into our carriers' hands, because it's a software platform that helps them manage their cash flow more efficiently.
That's really fascinating. Tell us what the next 12 to 24 months look like for Outgo.
Well, I think, we're focused on delighting our customers, continuing to add features to the platform that make them more successful running their business day to day. I describe what we're building as like the financial operating system for their back office. So our objective is to continue to expand the banking side, the receivable side, and continue to help them save money and be more efficient with their time.
And just building off that question, actually, because one of the themes that our main theme actually that we've been going through this year on the podcast is getting funded in 2024 as it applies to the various stages of growth, seed all the way through Series B, Series C. What words of advice would you have as a CEO of a scaling startup when you're looking at others out there right now thinking about getting through to those points, which are the triggers for actually securing that next round? What kind of advice would you have for, frankly, our other clients and other people in the industry?
Yeah, well, I would say focus on building a unit profitable business, a customer profitable business. And that means, making sure you're acquiring customers at the right price based on their expected lifetime value. And you're able to service them, on a per unit or on a, per product basis. with the type of profitability you're seeking based on your market segment. And that's really what we obsess about, is making sure that we're able to do that and scale the business really efficiently. And those are our priorities.
That's great, Marcus. Thank you. It sounds like you're solving a lot of complex financial problems for a really important industry in the U.S., and you're building a great business. So congratulations. Thanks for joining us today on the Angel Nest.
Thanks, David. Thanks, Johnnie.
Thanks very much, Marcus. Really appreciate it.
You can find contact information for our guest today at our website, theangelnest.com, where you can also reach me if you know of a company or an exciting business opportunity we should talk about. My email is david@theangelnest.com. I'm David Hemingway. We produce The Angel Nest with help from David Newhoff and with Charles de Montebello at the controls at the beautiful Art Deco Film Center building just west of Times Square in New York. Thanks for listening, and here's hoping all my fellow investors and the founders they support find their next great venture. So long until next time.